I'm Sarah Gore, and this is Open House NYC. It's Mother's Day, and we are celebrating in style this week with these dynamic and creative mamas who show off their effortlessly chic family homes. From this artist's apartment in Harlem to this former fashion designer's bright and airy West Hollywood abode. And we're in Brooklyn to see how one writer lives with all that inspiration. Plus, we are out in Newport Beach, California for a look inside this designer's colorful and personal ode to all that she and her family love. But before all that, we visit this modern yet inviting apartment in Little Italy that you're definitely not going to want to miss.
A well-designed home should feel beautiful, chic, but also deeply authentic. That's what I hope for all of the client spaces we design and what I want for my own home.
Welcome to Open House NYC. We have a great show this week as we celebrate Mother's Day. So in between calling your mother and hopefully for all my fellow mamas out there, breakfast in bed and maybe just a bit of quiet, we are going inside the unique and creative homes of these dynamic designers, artists, and writers, all fellow moms. We are getting started in Little Italy at the apartment of interior designer Gabriella Gargano. Gabby's home is a confident mix of the eclectic and the classic without ever sacrificing a warm and welcoming vibe. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Gabriella Gargano, and I'm the owner of Corre Designs. This is my home in Little Italy, and I'm excited to show you around. This home is a triplex featuring 3 bedrooms and tons of outdoor space, which highlights one of my favorite aspects of the home, which is the beautiful views of Lower Manhattan. As soon as you step off of the elevator, I wanted to create a sense of warmth and coziness. You'll see the living room connects to the dining room and kitchen, which really has a beautiful open floor plan, but at the same time still has a separation of space. One of the ways that I connected the open floor plan was through a series of built-ins. It starts with a fireplace, pantry, wine fridge, and finally bookshelves. One of the main things we like to do at Corre Designs is pair vintage pieces with contemporary ones. The vintage chairs have a beautiful curved line and a really textured fabric. To balance that out, we used a really simple, clean line sofa that has a natural linen and gives a sense of casualness and comfort. One of my other favorite pieces in our living room is our vintage Ushak rug. They're made of 100% wool, very durable, and come in a beautiful range of colors and patterns. When we designed the dining room, I wanted to make sure that it felt connected to the living space, but still had its own personality. I love these vintage Danish lights because they have both an industrial and a playful quality to them. We surrounded the dining table with these unusual vintage chairs. They have a curved back and are incredibly comfortable, but still provide a strong design element. The gallery wall really creates an envelope around the dining space, which is warm, inviting, and creates a lot of visual interest and talking points during dinner time. It was important for me that the nursery didn't feel like just a kid's space. I wanted it to have just as amazing pieces as the rest of the home does. The nursery has a mix of vintage and contemporary pieces. The vintage chair and ottoman are 2 items that we purchased many years ago and actually reupholstered them in the same fabric so that they appear as one cohesive piece. Similar to the furnishings, I wanted the art to feel just as spectacular as the rest of the home. These are pieces that I've started collecting for my daughter, and I'm really excited to see what she chooses to add over the years. Now let's take a look at the primary bedroom. I wanted this space to be both restful, but also really warm and cozy. In this room, there are a few things that I think are really important for me. One of the first that you'll see is this vintage chair. It has a super unusual shape, beautiful rich wood tones, and we upholstered it in a deeper brown wool fabric. Some of my others are the artwork above our bed, which is dynamic and really adds a sense of place. We decided to skip the door in our closet because it provided a more open feel and allowed the 2 spaces to feel connected. And also by having a larger closet, the room maintains a clean, tidy, and minimalist feel. A well-designed home should feel beautiful, chic, but also deeply authentic. That's what I hope for all of the client spaces we design and what I want for my own home. Thank you so much for following along, and I hope you enjoyed my home tour.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are out west in Newport Beach with designer Corre Larkin. We'll see you in just a few. Welcome back, everyone. Now we're in Newport Beach, California with designer Corre Larkin. Corre's home is a colorful and personal ode to all the things that she and her family love. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Corre Larkin, and welcome to my version of California Eclectic. Inside my home, you're going to find pops of color, loads of texture, and a bunch of interesting internet finds. Lots to see, so let's get started. The theory behind my design process is what I like to call California Eclectic. If you look through our living room, you'll see pieces that I've collected over the years, some pieces that have been handed down to me through my grandparents and my parents, and then also pieces I've picked up from my travels. I'm a true believer in buying things that you love, and then you will find a way to incorporate that in. The way to pull it all together is to stick with a similar color palette. So in this room, I started with this amazing antique rug, and then worked those tones throughout the rest of the room. Our kitchen and dining room are all one space. And if your house is anything like mine, then this is the hub of the home. We do a lot of entertaining here, and my inspiration behind the design was a Parisian bistro. So we did the long butcher top counter, the antique lights, and then the custom-made table with the bistro dining chairs. When you have an open, bright space, you need to add in a pop of color. We did that in the kitchen with the dark countertops. And then in the dining room, we added in some statement artwork. I'm a firm believer that kids' rooms shouldn't just be catalog and throwaway pieces. So in my daughter's room, I used a bunch of one-of-a-kind items that could grow with her. For instance, what was once an antique butcher rack, I turned into shelves for her. Also, this mother-of-pearl inlaid chest from India provides the perfect statement piece. For my son's room, we decided to warm up the place with a bunch of natural elements. We went with the driftwood mirror, the feathered juju hat, and the mother-of-pearl inlaid chest. So here it is, the master bedroom, and I've saved the best for last. The beaded glass chandelier and the rattan bed give the room a bohemian feel. However, when we pair that with the antique cane chairs covered in leopard, all of a sudden you get that unexpected twist. A lot of people put their best pieces of furniture in the living spaces because that's what everyone sees. I'm the opposite. My favorite pieces of furniture are here in this room. While everything in the shelves has to be beautiful and also mean something, in my opinion, they also have to stick to a similar color palette. These antique horse figurines were passed down to me from my Norwegian family. The Cambodian figurines are passed on from my grandmother. And I found this Victorian phone at an estate sale. And some things I buy just because they're beautiful. Thank you for joining me on this tour of my California eclectic home, and I hope it inspired you to go off and find an heirloom for yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to find my next treasure.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are in Brooklyn to see how this design writer personalized her space. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we're in the Ocean Hill section of Brooklyn with writer and editor Jessica Cumberbatch Anderson, whose work has appeared in the New York Times, Architectural Digest, and Elle Decor, among others. So as someone who often writes about design, it stands to reason she knows a thing or two, which you can see in her personal yet always chic family apartment. Take a look.
I'm Jessica Cumberbatch. I'm a writer and design enthusiast, and we are at my apartment in Ocean Hill, Brooklyn. It's a 2-bedroom. It's about 1,000 square feet, and we've been here for about 13 years. In that time, my taste has really changed and evolved, but this is where we are now, and I can't wait to show it to you. When you walk into the apartment, the first thing you see is the living room, and lighting in here has really been a challenge. So when it came to the color palette, I wanted to keep it really light and monochromatic and let this gold and cream wallpaper that we have really shine. The sofa, we definitely went a little bit more muted, but I was looking for something that was sleek and streamlined and most importantly, super comfortable. The coffee table is a newer addition. We swapped in something clear just because it's lighter, and it also has this gold base which really picks up on the other gold accents in the space. And since it's transparent, it gives you a really good look at the carpet. The design here just reminded me of some of the dots in the abstract design and the wallpaper. So this red chair is a little famous thanks to my daughter. We took her monthly baby photos here, but yeah, it's really special for that reason too. When you move further into the apartment, you come to our dining area. We went with this nice slate blue almost that matches the upholstery and the cushions. We also use this space to display a lot of family photos and artwork that we kind of had laying around and made this nice gallery wall. I was seeing a lot of bubble chandeliers in some of the house stores that I was writing about. I found this one, which we put in our banquet area. It's a real statement piece. The bulbs are so big and bright. It is another example of how we were able to really brighten up a tiny space. The bedroom was always much more muted than the rest of the apartment. This year, I felt the need to bring in a little bit more color, so we got some new window treatments. We brought in a yellow coverlet that really gives it a little pop. And the chandelier, it's made of strings, essentially. The bed is fully upholstered, so it's a nice place to kind of sit back and lounge and do some work sometimes. The mirror, again, really mimics the metallic elements that you see, especially in the living room. It has this metallic sort of silver gold frame. It's a good piece to really make the space look a little bit bigger and bring in some light from the two windows. This is truly my escape from the world. I hope my apartment shows you how accessible design can be, and for me, that it's a process that evolves over time. It's taken me years to come to a place that I really love, and I hope you love it too.
Coming up in just a few short minutes, we are back in Los Angeles for a look at this bright and airy designer home. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we're in West Hollywood at the bright and sophisticated family home of Erin Featherstone. Erin started her career in fashion, but made this seamless transition from the wearable to the livable, proving that in both fashion and interiors, good design should match your lifestyle. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a designer based here in Los Angeles, and this is my 1920s Tudor home in West Hollywood. I love the historical charm of our home. It was originally designed by famous architect Paul Williams in the 1920s. When we moved here, I wanted to bring my own special brand of organic modern to the home and to create a great indoor-outdoor flow. So as a designer, I always feel the living room is the place to make your statement. And I really wanted this room to be about bringing the outdoors in. The room has amazing natural light because it's surrounded by glass. We have a beautiful bay window and a pair of French doors that leads to our outside. With that in mind, I chose this really beautiful green velvet sectional. And I love it because it has a little bit of gold accents through the feet, and I think that that brings a nice little touch of glam in contrast to the more earthy wood tones that I have with a pair of stools here and the console table behind the sofa. Behind me is the playroom, which is probably my most favorite room in the house. It's super cozy and whimsical. I love the teepee and the little boy's chair there, and we spend a lot of time as a family together in that room. So my family loves to hang out together in the kitchen. We decided instead of doing a breakfast nook that made more sense for our family to do a seating area. Some might say a white sectional in a kitchen with 2 young children was a bold and daring choice, but I used a fabric called mudcloth, which is really durable. And I'm just so happy that it's white because it just adds to the overall light, bright, airy feel that I'm going for throughout the house. I love these glass globe light fixtures, and the rest of the fixtures and finishes in the kitchen have kind of a classic country feel meets old Hollywood chic. So here we are in the outdoor space of our home. We always hang out here. This is where we do all our entertaining, have dinners, hang out, we have a barbecue, and of course we have our swimming pool, which we're so lucky. We always keep heated. It's a lovely saltwater pool, and this is just our place to hang out. I find the design process for doing interiors very similar to doing fashion. You have to start with a concept, and then there's a whole creative process you have to go through to see it through to the end. But what I particularly love about interior design is that once you've created a space, it really gets to take on a life of its own. So thank you for coming to see my home, and I'll see you soon.
Don't go anywhere. Check out what's still to come in Harlem with the artist and photographer behind Radiant Human.
I mean, the best thing about having kids is you get to revisit childhood again. This came from my great-grandmother. It's actually a bird that still works. There it is.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Now we are in Harlem at the apartment of the artist behind Radiant Human. Christina Lonsdale practices the rare medium of aura photography, which interprets energy in color and light. She shows off where she created the content for her first book and reminds us in the process that homes have an aura too. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Christina Lonsdale, and I am the author and artist behind Radiant Human, and this is my home. My partner Tito and I have been living in Harlem for the last 2 years with our baby girl. This is our safe haven and our creative sanctuary. Tito just finished an album, and I just finished my book in this apartment. Let me show you around. Radiant Human is a project that I started about 6 years ago. It uses a really interesting camera called the AuraCam 6000. Essentially what it does is it analyzes your body's energy and matches it to a color, and that color comes out as a second exposure. Over the years, I've taken almost 45,000 images, and many of them appear in the book. Just as people have energy, so does spaces. And so it was really important for me that we honored the energy of each room within our home. As you can see, we really love books and we love records. We created a nice cozy atmosphere that didn't have too much else going on. Family and heritage is super important for us. These pillows right here were made by Tito's mother, and I absolutely adore them. The Falcon chairs that are opposite of the couch are really cozy, but they're also very structured, and that was really important to me. I didn't really want furniture that you could just get lost in. My father gave me this crystal when my baby was born. This has been a crystal that he has been meditating with for the last 10 years. Right next to my sofa, I have my chimenea, which is essentially a chimney. As a New Mexican, I felt like the chimenea really kind of featured my upbringing the best, and I'm really excited to be able to share this with my daughter. So here we are in my baby girl Luna's room. She's 1.5 years, and I really wanted there to be a playful energy here. As with everything else in this house, we really focused on music and heritage. Here and all around the room, you'll see wooden toys that was actually made by Tito's father. You'll also see both Tito and my childhood toys. I mean, the best thing about having kids is you get to revisit childhood again. This came from my great-grandmother. It's actually a bird that still works. There it is. So this room is really about peace, tranquility, and calm energy, which as any mother of a toddler knows that is an essential way to survive. Flanking the window, we installed sound bowls to further enhance our sense of tranquility. It's great to use these to kind of like correct your energy to get more aligned with what you really want to bring into your life. It's like everything, all the noise, all the grime, all the stress of the day just melts away. And then you're just ready for bed. Speaking of calm and tranquility, we are so lucky to actually have a roof deck. Let me take you there. So here we're at my roof, and this has been such a nice place to go to after a long, busy day in New York City. This is my dome. This is my portable photography studio that I shoot out of. All of the aura photos that appear in my book were taken in here. I figured there was no better place to end this tour than here in my dome home with my camera so that you could actually see what is behind the scenes in both Radiant Human, but also my life as well.
I can't believe the show's already over. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, because we're gonna keep giving you these amazing homes.